Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch The Legend of Korra Season 2, Episode 1. That's it, we're beginning the Season 2 together today. Normally I'm gonna watch one episode, maybe two, it's gonna depend on how much I'm gonna talk during the intro and the review of this episode. You know, it's the first of the Season 2. I remember what was the first of the Season 1. I cried, I had to make breaks. I remember the last episodes of the Season 1. I cried, I had to make breaks. So I can't anticipate how long this video is gonna be for you and for me also while I'm filming it. So I don't know. The last episodes of the Season 1 were so great. I put the full reaction part on my Patreon for all of them because I reacted a lot, because a lot of things happened, but also because my emotions were really high and I loved them, and you know, it was really the end of a story. You told me so. You told me before that, and I saw it during this episode, that really the Season 1 was created to begin and end, you know, to have a conclusion for everything at the end. And I saw that at the end of the Season 1, we had the conclusion of the Tarlok, Amon, Yakon situation, you know, all of the answers about that, but also the conclusion of these characters. Tarlok, killing the two of them like that. It's still making me sad, you know. I understand the logic of Tarlok, and I can see that the writers choosing that end, that was so great because it's an honorable death in a way for both of them, because Tarlok thought that they could never, you know, change, and he had a doubt about maybe his brother being able to change and all, because his father before that couldn't do it. And Amon maybe really believed into that, maybe not, we'll never have the answer about that. You know, both of them, they were going on the good direction, the good path, but we're never gonna know if they were really believing into it or not, if it could happen or not. It's a good end, really, for both of these characters, but it's still making me sad because their story was so sad, so tragic. So yes, it was a good end, but see, it was the end of these characters, these villains of the season, and everything was ended, you know, also for Korra, who had her bending taken away and who had it back because of Aang, and who can give it back also to everyone, including Lin. That was so great also. Really, they ended everything. They also ended, you know, that story between Mako, Korra and Asami. You know how much I didn't like it. Not I hated it. I was this close to hate it. But I really didn't like it because Asami was so nice with all of them, and to have Korra and Mako lying to her like that, and Mako treating Asami like that, treating her so bad, calling her not crazy, but being like, oh, you're not gonna be annoying with me, you're not gonna talk about that, it's not a good situation. Can you consider the girl's feelings, you know? Can you consider her? Can you respect her a little? Not at all. And Asami, she was living so many hard stuff during that moment with her father. She was against her father and she was conflicted about that, maybe a little inside of her, and we saw that she was forced to fight against him. She still hesitated, you know, to arrest him at some point, but he didn't hesitate at all. He was ready to kill her, to kill his own daughter, and that was really awful seeing that. So I was on Asami's side no matter what, and even if I ship Korra and Mako, I had trouble to be on their side because all of what they were doing into that situation was bad, just bad. But at the end, he said to Asami that he was sorry. You have to do more than just that, but okay, that's already great. Korra and Mako confessed their feelings for each other and they kissed, so we had the conclusion of that also. So yes, the season 1 closed everything at the end, so I'm beginning this season 2. I don't know what is gonna happen during it, what is gonna be the story that they're gonna put, you know, for all of the season and maybe for all of the seasons which are gonna come. I don't know if we're gonna have the same characters or new characters. Like we saw just a little of General Boomy, we saw a little more, no, not General, Commander Boomy. We saw a little more of General Iroh, but maybe we're gonna see more of him. Can we see more of the Fire Nation, how it is right now? Can we know more about what happened to our old guys? No, when I began the season 1, I was like, okay, new story, new characters, maybe we're gonna hear stuff about our old guys, but we're not gonna see them, we're not gonna have anything about them. Episode 1, I knew that I was wrong and that we were gonna see them and all. Episode with Sokka and you know the flashback episode, the episode 9? Really? No. So now that I'm beginning the season 2, I know that we can see flashbacks with our old guys being old, and also that we can see their kids, their grandkids. So I'm beginning to be like, maybe we're gonna see more, maybe we can see Sokka's kids, maybe we can see more of Zuko's kids, maybe, see, maybe, I don't know. I hope that we're gonna keep Lin. I really loved her character during the season 1. I have my favorite character. I saw that, you know, during the editing and all, I saw that I was supportive a lot for Bolin, for Pabu also. This duo, Bolin and Pabu. And also for Lin. I was really supportive of Lin, of Asami also. And yes, you know, I have my favorite characters like that. I love the other ones. I love Korra, I love Tenzin also. Tenzin is so great. But yes, I have these favorite ones that I want to keep for this season. Bolin, I think that we're gonna keep him, but maybe not Lin. It would be great to keep Lin. But I want also Korra to explore more than just Republic City. I don't know what she can do now. I mean, she's mastering all of the 4 elements and she's older than Aang, so it's logical also that she's so powerful already and that she can master all of the 4 elements right now. I'm waiting for her to go outside of Republic City to explore more of this world, to explore also the spirit world, you know, that I was really a little frustrated when it didn't happen into Avatar The Last Airbender. I was expecting more, you know, into the spirit world. I'm really interested by that part of the Avatar state and all. So maybe she can master that, you know, she doesn't master the Avatar state for now, so maybe it can be that she can learn, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna stop this intro right now and I'm gonna watch this episode 1. Like usually, you have my Patreon on which you have the episodes earlier. For this episode, I don't know, because when this episode is gonna be out on Patreon and on YouTube, it's gonna be around La Casa de Papel, you know, the new season which is gonna come, so I had to change all of my schedule because of that, so I don't know if it's 1 week or 2 weeks sooner that you have this episode of The Legend of Korra on Patreon. Check the description, I told you that on the description, and I told you also if I put the extended or the full reaction part for this episode. Let's go! I'm really beginning this season like, okay, new story, not new characters, that's it, I know them, but really new story, what is it gonna be? When for you know, all of the seasons were the continuity of the other one, right there, really, new book. He retired? We're gonna see him already? Commander Boomy? A danger threatens them? It's not a monster, it's a spirit. Book 2 spirits, I swear I didn't know. I said in intro just some minutes ago that it's what I want, you know, for Korra to explore the spirit world. Because, you know, she's mastering all of the elements, so the only thing that she's missing is to master the avatar state and to go into the spirit world. Cool. You did that without destroying the city.
Since your father was thrown in prison, no company will work with us.
I'm going to the South Pole to meet with someone who can help us put Future Industries back on top.
It's great, Asami. You can do it. Kids! You're cheating! It's Avatar State!
The Avatar is the winner! You are toying with a dangerous power that you obviously do not appreciate.
You need to know also how to master it.
From now on, it's 24/7 movie time!
Oh, I'm gonna appreciate you, Boomy. Blue eyes.
Hopefully, our visit to all of the air temples will give you the inspiration you need to delve more deeply into your study.
You're gonna...
Can we see what Grandpa
I said that I wanted her out of Republic City.
Beifong says if I keep it up, I can make detective soon.
Oh, that sounds so fun. All I do is train all day.
Tenzin's just trying to help you become the best avatar you can be.
Of course you take his side.
I'm not taking his side.
I'm gonna take a walk.
Still a teenager, an impulsive teenager.
Grandpa!
Oh, you've all gotten so big.
We missed you, Aunt Kaya.
Oh, your father doesn't bring me to visit nearly enough. He's probably scared I'll beat him up.
All of sisters and brothers related. Someone related to US family?
Whoa, who would love ladies?
Bolin!
Avatar Korra.
Good to see you too.
Tom Rock. Brother.
Aha! Are you related to US family, Korra?
It's a shame the Southerners have abandoned all connections to the spirits.
It's not the end of the world.
Tell that to the sailors who are being attacked by angry spirits in southern waters.
A new conflicted brother relationship?
Merrick is one of the richest men in the world, and he controls the entire global shipping business.
Go, Asami,
You're
go!
my assistant.
No problem. Pabu and I are natural assistants.
Bolin.
Did you see that? Levitation!
Someone is gonna tell you?
Are you saying I wasn't levitating?
No.
Well, why didn't anyone tell me? Now I look like an idiot. Miss Sato, he's with you?
Mm-hmm.
Brought your tiger shark with you to do business, huh?
I think that she's stupid, but dangerous stupid, you know, the kind of stupid that can do impulsive stuff.
Gotta check out my new venture. Moving pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Mind-blowing, right? Spectacular! And
Bolin.
we tell a story.
If we can hammer out a deal.
Stop. Look me in the eye. We got a deal!
Oh,
Is that how business usually goes?
nope.
You are a natural assistant.
You can make a good team, the two of you.
Since the Avatar is the bridge between the material world
Mm-hmm.
and the spirits, that is why I want so badly to teach you.
I thought I had made it clear that Tenzin is teaching her.
I thought Aang ordered the White Lotus to keep me down here.
We all did what we thought was best for you.
My
Why
decision,
don't
Dad,
you
not
trust your
yours.
brother
Or
that
Tenz's.
much?
But I am saddened to see what it has become. A cheap carnival that celebrates greedy and trivial humans. I fear the time is fast approaching when the North can no longer stand idly by, while our Southern brothers slip into total spiritual decay.
And what?
Angry spirits are already attacking
You're not
ships and
gonna
waters. I only
fight?
hope we are not too late to change course.
Wow, I'm loving these robes.
Okay.
It'd be interesting to spend time with the person whose ways are so rough and uncultured. You amuse me. I will make you
You
mine.
mean like a boyfriend or like a slave?
Neutral.
Win me prizes.
I I'm gonna like them.
Tenzin thinks I'm his prisoner, or one of his kids.
No.
We never finished training with him in charge.
I think that you have to learn spirit things, but the fact that they all don't trust the guy, why? I trust Tenzin. You have to stop blaming Mako for everything.
Naga, hush.
A spirit. A fast spirit. Now it's the time to bring Avatar State. It's your dad? What do you want, spirit?
Why are you angry with us?
Thank you, Tenzin. We have the same technique. Avatar State? Okay, but it's not gonna help. You're attacking the Avatar right there, not the town. There is a reason behind that. You're doing what? You're making a bridge, kind of a bridge, no?
Go in peace.
Are you alright?
How are you able to control that spirit when no one else could?
To control?
All of this knowledge is lost in the South. I could teach you everything I know.
But Korra still has much to learn about airbending, and I hope that going to the air temples will help her connect with the past Avatar.
I'm tired of listening to you. Both of you. You keep me locked up, telling me you know what's best. Both of you were powerless against the spirit attack.
I know you're angry, but we've come so far together.
I'm sorry, Tenzin.
Angry to what?
This is as far as we go.
Excuse me?
It has been a pleasure serving you, Avatar Korra.
He opened his arms to you. His family was your family?
Mother, I think I need some time alone with my family right now.
This is your family, Tenzin.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important that you all visit your father's home together.
Come on, it'll be fun.
I
I love you, Mom.
Olaf and Skid visiting Aang Temple.
Now it's time to put behind you and begin your new training. I have great plans for you.
I trust him. You know, we ended the episode 1 of the season 1 with Amon telling that he had plans and that he needed to do stuff and all. Right there we are finishing the episode 1 of the season 2 with someone telling us, I have plans, so we could suspect him to be the new villain of the season and all. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I really trust that the guy wants to teach us stuff about the spirit world. I think that he thinks that he's doing stuff that are right. Maybe there are some things, you know, in his teaching which are not gonna be right. Like, I don't think that he's doing blood bonding, but stuff like that, that morally are crossing the limits. Oh, I just thought about it, you know, how he... You know, for me, he was calming that spirit and helping that spirit to go to the spirit world. But they used, you know, it's Korra used the word control. I don't like that word. Because now that I think about it, and now that I just said the word bloodbending, I hope that it's not coming from the same stuff, you know, what he just did to that spirit and bloodbending. I hope that right there he was not bloodbending the spirit. For me, it was really calming the spirit and making it go to the spirit world. But I hope that I'm not wrong with that, you know, that the spirit was okay with the situation, was not forced and all. See, that kind of thing which can be an issue maybe with Unalaq, like I think that he wants to do good. I think that he thinks that he's doing good things and all. But maybe morally, some little things like that, some techniques that he can use or stuff, can be morally crossing the limits. Like bloodbending is crossing the limits for me, in my opinion. And now that I think about it, maybe how he is controlling the spirits like that, maybe it's crossing the limits? I don't know. But no matter what, I don't think that it's a solution, in fact. I think that there is a real issue with the spirits that you need to deal with, to talk with them. It's so great. I mean, I'm so excited and happy, you know, because during the intro I told you that season 1 we ended all of the story and we have at the end a full accomplished Avatar. That maybe for this season the stories that they can do is to get out of Republic City, to do stuff out of there, and also to learn stuff about the Avatar state. And I wanted stuff about the spirit world because I was a little frustrated that during Avatar The Last Airbender we had little things about it, but we could do more with it. I'm really interested and intrigued by the spirit world. You know, that monkey, for example, is obsessing me. You know, I'm like, we need to see that spirit again. So I'm so glad that during this episode 1 they went out of Republic City and they told us that we were gonna see more than just Republic City, with Tenzin who is going to the air temples, and also with Korra who is gonna do her stuff with learning stuff about spirit, about the spirit world. And so we are out of there and we're gonna do stuff with the spirits and with the Avatar state. It's all of what I wanted, you know? So I'm glad about that. I'm glad that Tenzin is gonna go with his siblings to Aang Temple. That's gonna be emotional for me. I can already predict it. I don't know. No, I don't know if we're gonna have flashbacks or not. We'll see. But that's gonna be emotional no matter what. I hope that we're gonna follow them. I think that we're gonna do it. But okay. And we're gonna have Korra staying with that guy learning stuff. That's gonna be great also. With Mako and Bolin. That's great. With Asami also. That story about Asami taking her father's business, you know, and trying to get it right, it can be really interesting, a good story for her. I'm glad that she has her own story, her own narrative arc for this season. That's really great. And her and Bolin can make a good team right there. It's cool that they have their own stuff. About Korra, during this episode, you know, we saw her being mad at people a lot. And I have the impression that it was for no particular reason. I mean, she had reasons, but they are really little ones in comparison of all of what she lived during the season 1. For her to be so mad at Tenzin right there, like, you don't control my life, I want to control it, I'm gonna stay with the guy. Okay, you can say that, but to say it like that to Tenzin, who opened his arms like that to you during the season 1, who helped you so much, you were a part of his family, he considered you as a member of his family, and you are talking to him like that, it's not good. I mean, what is happening is logical with Korra's character and all, but how she's talking to him, it seems too much for me. But I think that it's the purpose of the writers to make it sound too much, because she's a teenager and we know that Korra is impulsive. We know that since episode 1 of season 1. We know that she has that strong character, you know, that strong personality, a big mouth, she's impulsive, and that's what she's doing also right there with Tenzin. But I don't like that. And I don't like also that she's blaming Mako. You know, something bad is happening into her life, she's choosing to blame Mako for it. Not to blame him, but to put her anger into a situation with Mako. Like, If you are angry at someone or something, you are having a discussion with that person that you're against, you know, you are in conflict with that person during that situation, but you're not taking your anger and you're not putting it on someone else. That's not fair. So I didn't like that she did that to Mako during this episode. She did it twice, you know, during this episode. It's not good for Mako. Right there, Mako is following her across the world when in fact he just told her that he has a situation in Republic City, a job that he loves, maybe he can evolve into that job and all. He has stuff that he can do that he loves and he's choosing to follow you, to be with you, and also be nice with the guy. I'm not sure that you are considering what he's doing for you. The fact that Bolin is following them, like with the Fire Ferrets, he can't win that new team, and Bolin can't be far away from Mako. I love their brother relationship a lot. I want to see more of this brother relationship. We had some scenes about that during the season 1, but I want that relationship to be more explored, you know. Like during this episode, we had a lot about the brother relationship between Unalaq and Korra's dad, I can't remember his name for now, and also about the siblings situation relationship between Tenzin, Kia and Bumi. So it could be great to have that also for Mako and Bolin, brothers, situations like that for their relationship. It's really something into this show now that I think about it, into the Legend of Korra. We have more relationship like that, like during the season 1 we had Amon and Tarlok. Oh, it's interesting. Maybe the writers, you know, they were into a mood writing the Legend of Korra. Okay, it was cool. For the first episode of the season 2, it's really presenting us the narrative arcs of the season. Tenzin with his siblings and his family going to visit their temples. Korra, Mako and Bolin, and also Astami staying for now into the pole, one for making business and the other ones because Korra needs to learn things about the spirits, because the issue for the season is gonna be dealing with the spirits. The spirits are attacking now this world, there is something wrong, we have to deal with it. We have new characters that they just presented, Unalaq, but also his kids. Like, they can be fun. These situations can be fun. And we have also the mood of it with a Korra who is really angry at everything, anything. She's a teenager, you know, she can be into that kind of mood. You know, it's reminding me, it's what book, you know? In Harry Potter, we had one book with Harry like that, you know, mad and angry during all of the book, during all of the movie also, when the movie was out. Because, you know, it's one of the steps when you are a teenager. It's like almost an obligation. You have 1 year, one period of time when you're angry, mad at everything. And I think that maybe it's gonna be that season for Korra. She's gonna be mad and angry at everything. It's logical with the fact that she's a teenager, but also with her character. I'm repeating it. We know that since the beginning that she has a big mouth, that she's impulsive, and also it's logical that she's reacting like that. I don't like that because it seems too much and it's really unfair for Tenzin how she treated him, but it's logical. Maybe it seems too much because it's happening really quick. Maybe if they would have done that in 2 episodes and not just 1, to have that breakup almost between Tenzin and Korra, it could have been better, you know. I would have believed into it much more, like it wouldn't have been seemed too much, maybe. But it's like that, you know, it's short seasons with The Legend of Korra in comparison of Avatar The Last Airbender, so they don't have the choice, I think, with that, the writers. They know what they want to do for the season, so they have to put things into each episode that they want to do. I understand that. No, I'm not gonna watch any other episode today. One that was already great. I know now that I have to be prepared for the next seasons to have that and that. That's already great. So it's all for you and for me for today. So it's all for me for now. So bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Great.